Between the rainstorms and the wind, it has been incredibly hard to film anything this week. How are you guys doing? We did get a really cute surprise though. Our baby birds on the back porch hatched. And we're starting to get some broccoli. Very exciting. My daughter loves broccoli. I am getting this coop cleaned out to bring the chicks out. So I'm just going to clean out all the stuff that was in here from my last batch of chicks. And I'm going to get fresh bedding in here so we can start from scratch. And I have my supervisor making sure I'm not making any false moves. This is all just going to go over and get put into my compost pile to break down further and become awesome compost for the garden. Alright, beautiful. I've got fresh straw in there. I took out the dividers from the nesting boxes. My older hens have been coming in here and laying their eggs, but my little chicks are not going to need nesting box spaces. So this will all be where I'm going to put their heat plate up here, and then they will have this whole run area down here they can hang out in and enjoy being outside. Do you approve, boss? Think it looks okay? All right, I'll bring the little guys out. There you go. So these guys were hatched on 4/11. They're about 3.5 weeks old. Today is 6 Mayo. They're getting a little bit feisty, you can see. They're getting some of their feathers on here. They're losing that downy, and they're in that gawky, teenager-y stage where they look kind of ridiculous as their new feathers are coming out. You can see, like right here on this one's neck, you see all these little, I believe they're called pin feathers. You see that there? Where it looks like spiky little feathers coming out. Those are new feathers, and they come out kind of like in a sheath. And then as they grow, that little kind of sheath thing falls off, and then the new feather is there. But these guys are getting moved outside. We have no more cold temps in the future. Our lows at night should be in the 50s, but I leave their heat plate in here until they're at least 6 weeks. Even if they don't use it, I would feel safer having the option for them, just in case, because I don't want all my hard work to go to waste or anything to happen to them if they were to have a cold night. So they will be out here for the next couple weeks until they start outgrowing this space. and then we'll go from there. And these guys will be available in about 2 weeks. I'll advertise locally, and they'll be up for grabs. They're so cute. I love having chicks. I'll take care of you in a second, mister. Usually the first couple nights that I have them outside, I will have to go out at night and actually pick them up and put them into the area where they're supposed to be sleeping, where their heat plate is. And it only takes a couple nights, and then they realize, hey, this is where we're supposed to sleep, and they will go to bed on their own just fine. But those first couple nights, make sure that you are really keeping a close eye on them, and when you first start leaving them outside, check on them frequently. So like today, I don't have to go anywhere, so it's a great day to do this because I can keep checking on them and making sure everybody's doing okay. Nobody found some secret hole in the fencing that I missed, and yep, keep everybody safe. I really want to work on making my garden a more pretty place this year. It's been typically just maximum functionality. I'm in a place, and you may have heard me talk about it if you've been on my channel for a while, that I have a son that is disabled. And so just because of the way certain laws are in my state, it can make it very difficult for me to work a normal job. And I have been very blessed to be able to earn an income in other ways since he was born, and I'm able to make ends meet that way. But the garden is a big part of where we're going in the future because my income really caps at a certain level with the type of employment that I can get. So I need my garden to be productive. For me, it's not just something that's fun and relaxing, and if it doesn't work, it's fine. It's something that I need to be functional, but I would also like to make it a pretty place to be. So we are going to put up some trellising for our tomatoes, and one of the things I love to do is reuse things that I have, be frugal with the stuff that I have available to me, and make it work. So we're going to take one of these fences down and we're going to move it, and that is going to be our trellis, because right now cattle panels are pretty expensive and I don't have the funds to put any more into my garden for this year. So we are just going to use what we have and we're going to make it work, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm hoping to be able to use some of that same fencing to put some arches maybe in the walkway to give us a little bit of shade. And my dream is eventually to have an area out here for the kids that has shade so they can hang out even in the heat, have some stuff to play with water, and still be able to be in the garden with me even if it's August and 90 something degrees outside, that they'll still be able to not get sunburned and be cool and have a good time with me out in the garden. So let's get started. Isn't this so pretty? This is chives going to flower. These flowers are so pretty. So I'm starting by putting a T-post in here. I'll put a T-post down towards the end, and then I'm gonna run a string across it, put the T-posts in, and then move this section of fence from the back over to these T-posts. I'll repurpose all of those T-post clips that I took out. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. Can we tie it here? All right, want to bring it down here? Watch out for the tomatoes, okay? We had to take a break there for a minute and do some mowing. My daughter wanted to ride the tractor. This is field fencing. I believe this is Red Brand. I got 300 feet of this fence for $330. With the price of cattle panels right now, this is a more economical option if you have it available to you. It is more of a pain in the butt because it comes rolled up in a coil. So you have to flatten it out. You have to cut it to the length that you want, but you can use it for fencing, you can use it for trellising, you can use it for arches. It will work the same way as a cattle panel will. It's just a little bit different. And that top and bottom, what do you call it? Wire is a lot thicker and harder to cut than the rest of it, but I just have a regular pair of wire cutters and use that, and it works fine. So I'm gonna get this rolled up and I'm gonna move it over and we're gonna attach it to our T-posts. Ideally, I would go and buy 8-foot T-posts and have it raised up off the ground a little bit higher, but because my budget is done for the garden, I am just using what I have, and so I have the 5-foot T-posts and we're gonna use that, and then if we need to replace it in the future, we can change it up. That's the nice thing about not making it permanent, is I can change it if I need to or want to. Alright, we have a trellis for our tomatoes, so we can go ahead and get the rest of our tomatoes planted in the ground, and then we will attach them to the trellis as they grow. I have a little bit left over on the end here. What I might do, I'm going to trim this off, and what I'm thinking is that I'm just going to make a low arch somewhere in the garden that will be Ellie's secret spot for finding beans, maybe. What do you think about that? Does that sound good? I totally forgot to end this the other day. So here is a look at the tomato trellis, and I've put in tomatoes on both sides, and I still have a whole tray of tomatoes left. So if you're local and you want some tomatoes, send me a message because I don't know where I'm gonna put them. I planted a lot. So I will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you're using to trellis in your garden this year. Bye.